The first mission in the attractiveness section is designed to give you a better eye and a better feel for what are the looks that are going to make you more attractive to girls. So what I want you to do here, it's not even that you're going to take a specific action on yourself yet. What I want you to do is develop an eye. So I want you to think to yourself, who are the people in my life or people that I've seen who do well with girls? Think celebrities, think guys at your work, guys you go to school with, guys that you admire, whatever it is, but guys specifically that do well with girls. Then I want you to think, how are they dressing? How are they getting their hair cut? What is their general appearance like? All right. And I want you to just kind of create a catalog. So first off, make a list of these people. Secondly, see if you can find photos of these people, find out what they're wearing, look at their hairstyles, those kind of things. It's very easy if you choose celebrities because there's tons and tons of photos of them. However, if you're in a particular niche area or you're in a particular environment where there is a category of guys that are doing very, very well with girls, by all means, implement that style as well. So what I want you to do again, list out the guys you know that are doing well with girls, and then find out what the traits are. Find out what they look like. If you can take pictures, that's great. If you can list out what clothing items they have, that's great, okay? I want you to have that idea of exactly what it is you're trying to emulate. And while you're doing this, it's great to have a general idea of what are the attractive traits. That's the starting point. The next point to take it a little bit further is try and pick people that look a little like you. So if you're like, short and like a short dark-haired guy, and the guys that you think are attractive are like tall and blonde, it might be a little bit of a different look, right? Or if you have one body type and they're a different body type, it might be a little bit of a different look. So specifically, try and pick guys that are getting girls that have as similar a body type to you as possible. Now, if it turns out that you're very out of shape and none of the guys that are getting girls have your body type, that's a good indicator to get in the gym, which is another thing we're going to be dealing with here. But that said, try and get as close as you can and try and improve your fashion and style to the extent that you possibly can. For the second mission on attractiveness, we're going to take what you did in the first mission and start to actually implement and apply it. So when you take those clothing choices, those hairstyle choices that you had in that first mission, and you're going to go out and you're going to actually do it. All right? Get yourself at least one good set of clothes that you really, really like, that you're comfortable wearing. This is your uniform for when you go out and want to look your best. If you're going out a couple nights a week, you could wear this uniform every single time if you had to. Wash it in between, deal with it. But you can look your best on a regular basis for not that much money by just getting one good outfit that you really like, that you really, it fits those attractive qualities and it fits you. Now, if you have the budget, by all means, 2 or 3 is fine. But at a minimum, I want you to have one set of clothes that is reminiscent of the guys who are getting laid that look like your type. Beyond that, one good haircut, okay? One really good haircut. If you typically are going to, getting like $10, $15 haircuts, splurge a little bit. Go get a $45 haircut one time. Go put yourself in the hands of a good stylist who knows what he's doing. Get a cut that looks the right, looks like your head shape. Go do it with someone who knows what they're doing. Get that cut. And then if you want to, you can always take a picture, and then you can take that picture of you at your best to a stylist who's maybe not quite as good, and they can probably imitate it pretty well. But I want you to get one really good style cut for your head shape, your look, what you're going for. Do it right, all right? Do it right one time, and then you can emulate it over and over and over again. If you already are used to spending a little money on your hair and you're willing to splurge a little more, go to literally the top guy and do something a little bit special. But again, this is your baseline. This is your baseline. You're setting up, this is me at my absolute best. And then you don't have to spend that much money every single time. You're gonna try and emulate it from there, all right? Even if you're on a total budget, do the absolute best you can. Go get a haircut actually done instead of doing it yourself if that's what you do, okay? Whatever your standard is, I want you to up your standard for your hair. I want you to up your standard for your clothes in a very intelligent way based on the catalog you've come up with. Along these lines, if you happen to have a friend or two who's really good with fashion, by all means, bring them along with you. If you happen to know some girls who are into fashion or who look good and especially date a lot of the guys that are getting a lot of the hot girls, by all means, take them with you. One other good tip along these lines is you may not actually buy the clothes at a really high-end place, but it doesn't hurt to go to a high-end place and try some on so that when you go to a less expensive place, you know what the fits and looks you're going for are, all right? But you're gonna actually take that step, to make yourself look your absolute best, okay? Take that risk, put yourself out there. You deserve it. You are worth it. All right, next up for attractiveness, you gotta get in the gym. Sorry, man, you gotta do it, all right? If you already are in the gym, that's awesome. Keep hitting it hard, try and push yourself to new limits. For those of you who are not very familiar with getting in the gym, just get active to start with. The biggest thing with going to the gym at first, it's not even about the progress you're gonna make in the first few weeks, it's about the habit of walking out of your door, going to the gym, doing something, and then coming back. Or the habit, if you're gonna do something like running, of going out for a run. Even if you run like half a mile and come back the first day, totally fine, all right? Get the habit first. That's the most important thing you're gonna do. Now, ideally, if you wanna work out for aesthetics, then you wanna actually incorporate some weight into what you're doing, because that's where you're gonna develop muscle and physique and that kind of stuff. There's tons of great workout programs out there. I'm not gonna go super in depth, but I will give you a primer for anyone who doesn't know at all how to work out. And basically, there's essentially 5 main exercises you wanna be hitting, okay? You wanna be hitting some kind of a pressing exercise. It can be like a bench press, overhead press, push-ups, dips, something like that. You want at least one good pressing exercise, okay? Then you want a pulling exercise. That's usually either like a pull-up, chin-up, or like a row type of exercise, right? That gets your back and this area in here. And then you want squats and deadlifts of some kind for your legs. If you don't have access to a gym, a good thing you can do is squats and lunges is probably a decent go if you don't have a gym at all. And then the last thing you want to do is some abs. All right, so hit those 5 areas. And the big thing I want to emphasize to you if you're not very familiar with working out is we call them like compound movements. You don't want to be doing just like one muscle at a time. Do these exercises that incorporate many muscles, especially the big muscles that kind of work together. That's gonna make sure that you're using your workout time very efficiently and getting the most out of it. It's also gonna make sure that you have sort of a good symmetry and good balance, and that you're gonna avoid injuries to a certain extent, because you're not gonna get these imbalances and such, okay? Good book that I've heard recommended a lot for working out is Starting Strength. It has some programs in there for exactly what to do within the scope of those exercises. But any basic workout program that focuses on those compound movements is going to work for you. Remember though, that it's mostly about getting in the gym, and the prime criteria for any workout is do not injure yourself so you can work out tomorrow, okay? Develop the habit, don't injure yourself, and keep it going. If you do that, you're gonna get great results. If you go in like super gung-ho the first day and you haven't worked out in a long time and hurt yourself, that's where you're gonna get into trouble. So remember, the prime thing is creating the habit and not getting hurt, and then doing the right things as best you can. For this, I want you to commit to at least 2 weeks from watching this video of doing proper workout routines, all right? Now, ideally, obviously, I should say a month or 2 months or whatever, and I really recommend you go at least a month, but I want it to be something that you absolutely know you can do. So right now, I'm just gonna say 2 weeks doing it the right way with compound exercises. Now, obviously, if you're a workout freak and you already know like what you're doing, maybe better than me, by all means, go do it. I'm just giving you a simplified thing for anyone who's unclear. But the most important thing, again, go and do it. Finally, number 4 for attractiveness, we have diet. You gotta eat the right way, all right? You can't out-train a bad diet. If you're working out all the time and you're eating just like donut after donut, you're consuming more calories than you're burning, you're gonna get fat no matter what you're doing. Okay, so you're gonna need to eat the right way. I'm not a big fan of like crash diets or like try and like lose as much weight in 1 week. It's not sustainable. What I am a big fan of is sustainable good eating that's gonna get you in shape over a period of time. Now again, if you're already an expert on diet, just for these next few weeks, I recommend 30 days for this one. Just do the absolute best diet you know how. If you aren't sure how to diet, I'm gonna recommend a few quick tips that will get you there very quickly, okay? First tip or idea, and this is based on the 4 Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, is basically minimize your simple carbohydrates. Simple rules for this, avoid liquid calories, avoid like sugar of all kinds, try and eat things that occur in nature, and avoid carbohydrates that are white, okay? If you need to look up what those are, just do a search for Google carbohydrates, you'll get a list. That's very simple, and that'll go a long way all by itself. Next thing, if you want to do it, that I found really good results myself with, I know a lot of people have, is to just increase your protein relative to your carbs. So what I would always do, just as a simple thing, is whenever you get a portion, like at a restaurant, or a normal meal portion that you're used to eating, either double the amount of meat and keep everything else the same, or half the amount of carbs and keep everything else the same. And by doing that, you're probably going to be on a very good diet very, very easily, right? So just order double meat, or order half the pasta, or just leave half your pasta uneaten or half your bread uneaten from a normal meal. And your ratio is gonna be really, really good compared to what it was before. And the final thing that I would recommend, if you wanna go pretty hardcore with this, is it's called intermittent fasting, which is set aside 8 hours of the day where you're going to eat all your meals within those 8 hours. And then for 16 hours, you're not gonna eat. That one's a little, you might be a little hungry. It's a little hard to maintain that way. But the good thing is, by restricting the amount of time you can eat, you make it very, very hard to overeat and overdo your calories. There's also a lot of hormonal advantages to a lot of these, actually, to the slower, less, fewer simple carbs has good hormonal effects. Increasing your protein to carbs has good hormonal effects. And the intermittent fasting has very good hormonal effects as well. So not only are you gonna be maintaining and managing your calories better, but you're gonna be kind of giving your body the right impulses to build muscle and to have a lot of testosterone and a lot of other healthy male traits, okay? So those are sort of a crash course if you want diet ideas. Obviously, you can look up 4 Hour Body is really good as a reference. A lot of the stuff I said about carbs versus protein comes from ideas relating to like the zone. So if you want to look into that diet for more information, and obviously you can always Google intermittent fasting for more information on that.